Frank, I want to talk to you about banter.
Ugh, banter. What's banter?
Well, this is part of my question. So, we probably all know that person at some point, somewhere we worked, where a new employee is starting and we say, oh, whatever you do, don't let them talk to such and such. And that person is inevitably normally very kind-hearted, very generous, thinks they're being funny, wants to involve you within the office, and all of us like to be part of a group, all of us like to have fun, all of us like to share a joke. But at what point from HR, if there's a point, does banter no longer become banter?
You know what? It's a phenomenal question.
Thank you very much.
And I'm going to answer this from experience, from client experiences, but also one of my own experiences. Banter is banter until it's no longer banter.
Thanks.
So something funny is funny until it's no longer funny.
Yeah.
I worked with a friend many years back and we had a banter culture. And I had this joke with my friend and it was always funny.
Yep.
Until the day he wasn't in the mood for it to be funny
anymore.
And he threatened to raise a grievance against me, my own friend.
Wow.
And in that split second, what I saw in front of me was someone I didn't recognise because the timing wasn't right. Maybe through my own fault. Maybe I read the room wrong, but the timing wasn't right. He wasn't in the right mood, and all of a sudden I felt that I had crossed the line.
Yeah.
The boundaries were broken, and that for me was kind of like, right, no more banter with this guy, and that was a hard learning for me.
That's quite sad though, isn't it, as well? Because
It
then
is
you're at a
sad.
point then, aren't you, where it's
Yeah.
like, okay, it's just a working relationship and that's it.
John, let me tell you something interesting.
Go on.
I've had clients in the past, family members, that have sued one another under employment law in a tribunal.
Really?
Yeah. I've had siblings taking each other to tribunal over a feud with the parents because they work together. So I think there is no excuse in employment law, whether you're friends, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're family. A tribunal will not discount any claim because of the association of your relationship.
No.
So I think banter is fine. Like, the world is serious enough, right?
Absolutely.
It's doom and gloom.
Absolutely.
But I would say always just take that second, that moment to think, are you reading the room right? Is it the right time? And what kind of mood is in front of you? Because a joke today will not be a joke tomorrow.
I think that's really interesting. I think reading the room is a really big skill set to learn. I've certainly known it from both sides, employee and employer, where one person is coming to a room and their head is, I don't know, I've got to get work done. I've got 3 hours timeline. I've got a meeting. And they're just wanting to focus. And the other one is coming full of energy and hyper and wanting to have banter, for a point of another word. And sometimes, clearly, both are in the same mind frame and it works. Yeah. Or you could both be in the same mind frame and you're both working hard. Yeah. So I think that's a really good terminology in terms of reading in the room. Let me ask you this question then, in terms of that is, can you learn as a skill set to read the room as an individual?
I don't think it's an option not to. I think we live in a society now where we're constantly being educated as to what is deemed acceptable or not acceptable. And I don't think it's used anymore as an excuse. It's like many legislations out there. There is no statutory excuse. There's no excuse to say, I didn't read the parking sign right. Why did I get a parking fine? Can I not pay it? Can I appeal?
Yeah.
We are educated to know right from wrong. But also I just wanted to go back to, in terms of when funny is no longer funny,
Yeah.
there could be a time that you come to work and one of your colleagues, one of your friends says something that sends a trigger of something that is going on in your life outside of work that they potentially don't know. And sometimes it is just a trigger. And it might be something that just hits the nerve in the wrong moment, and that friendship is gone. The trust is gone. Everything's gone.
I mean, you'd hope as adults, wouldn't you, that you could communicate properly and have that conversation. And
depends on the severity of what's going on. You know, you take men, for example. There's a lot of talk all the time about men's mental health. Do men really open up about their mental health? Do they really talk about what's deep or fundamental inside of them? And a lot of the time, we don't. We bury it, or we think it's just going to disappear until the moment comes that one thing that is said sends something to the brain that just triggers an alert, and all of a sudden you either go into defensive mode, or you respond aggressively, or you respond in the way that you didn't mean to respond, but it triggered something.
Yeah.
And I think...
And it was emotion to go.
You know, I say this because I'm mental health first trained. I've done a lot of work with men's mental health. And I had this thing, right? Behind every smile, everyone has a story. And everyone has their own issues and their own pain. And just because you can laugh and joke in the office and think banter's fine... You don't know at what point that trigger is kind of, you know, gone too far.
Interesting.
I don't mean to be doom and gloom, but
No,
you know, I speak from experience.
Yeah.
I speak from experience.
Okay, I'm going to ask you one final question, which is basically going to be on the mental health side of things, and then I'm going to leave these guys to do some individual stuff with you, and then I'll come back. So Franco, I want to talk to you about mental health.
Okay.
It's not a laughing matter. It's not funny. It's a serious subject.
But people get nervous, right?
Here it is.
People
right.
get nervous.
So, Franco, I want to speak to you about mental health. And the actual real question is almost kind of whose responsibility is it to raise it? So, for example, if I am looking for a new employee and the employee or would-be employee comes for the interview, is it okay for me as the employer to raise mental health and say to them, you know, it's prevalent in the world today. Do you suffer from it? If so, is there anything that we can do to help with that? Whether that be working from home hours, whether that be breaks at certain times, you know, I don't know what else would be available. You'll be able to tell me more from that. Or by raising that, is it potentially seen that I am asking a question? Because if someone says, yes, I do, and then I don't employ them, it's because I'm not employing them because I know they've got mental health issues and I don't want the supposed associated problems that come with it.
So you've asked a very dangerous question.
I'm a dangerous man.
You are. I have to call you 007.
Sorry.
It's dangerous, and many when I started my career in HR, employers used to send out what was known as a health medical questionnaire. This was before someone was recruited.
Right.
And it was used to discriminate people. You'd have a look at the questionnaire, you'd see a few boxes ticked that you didn't like, and all of a sudden, oh, I'm really sorry, you've not been successful.
Not the right.
You know, wish you all the best. So the legislation changed. I can't remember when it was, but we are going back now, probably over 15 years ago, nearing maybe 20 years or so, where a health questionnaire is acceptable post-employment. So you offer a position and then you send a health questionnaire
After
out
you've offered the position.
And the idea, I think this changed probably when the Equality Act came in 2010. And the idea is that you look at a medical questionnaire, and regardless of what's on there, as an employer, you have a duty of care, and B, you have a responsibility to that individual to make reasonable adjustments.
Yeah.
So if someone has a protected characteristic, whether that's a disability or anything similar, you legally have to make reasonable adjustments within the size of your business. Okay, so that's what the purpose of that questionnaire is used. Now, in answer to your question, is it appropriate to speak about mental health? I would say no. And I would say no for the reason that some people are open about mental health. They're fine with it. They don't see any stigma. They see that it will drive people, it will help people, it will motivate people, it will aid people to talk more about mental health. And others believe that it will be a detriment to their career or to them. It's a very personal thing. So I would always say, if you're going to use mental health in the workplace, use it proactively, through things like EAP, which is the Employee Assistance Program. There's companies out there that you can offer EAP services. They offer up to, for example, 6 counselling sessions to employees. Okay. They help with relationship counselling, bereavement counselling, financial counselling. There's many bolt-ons to the product that's sold. And I just implemented one actually for a client about 4 weeks ago under Simply Health. So I think if you're using it in that tone, it's fine because it's used in a collective audience. If you're having a one-to-one with someone, I would say unless the employee brings it up with you, don't go
directly. Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah.